Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub, and Merry Christmas. Time for another movie review, and of course, don't stop believing, right? So, if I haven't seen you, Merry Christmas. I'm not going to stop believing one of these days I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers. I've only been doing it since 2016. Oh well. Anyway, tonight's movie is Y2K. So, I'm pretty interested in seeing this. Only 5.2 on IMDb. I thought it was going to be better for some reason. 3,628 people so far only rated it. It has in it Fred Durst. I started there. So he's in it. I'm not sure. He's playing himself, so I'm sure it's not a major role. Jaeden Martell is in it. Rachel Zegler is also in it. And Julian Dennison are three people that I know, young actors, that I've seen in a couple different things. Mason Goodling is another one I recognize, and I'm sure there's more that are going to pop up. And I'll share with you as they show up in the film. But it's about two high school nobodies who make the decision to crash the last major celebration before the new millennium on the New Year's Eve of 1999. So they're crashing a party, it sounds like. I thought they were trying to crash the internet, but the night becomes even crazier than they could have ever dreamed when the clock strikes midnight. So, I don't know. Y2K, big thing back in the day for those who weren't around. They thought the world was going to go haywire because of the way that we dated everything. 99, 86. What happens when it goes 00? Anyway. Excuse me. Let's get into it. Let's see what it's about. See if it's worth watching. Very low score, so very low expectations. It's also only an hour and 31 minutes long, so not a big commitment. Stick around. I'll let you know what I think. Excuse me. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Y2K. I'm going to start off right here, out of order in a sense. Jaeden Martell kind of reminds me of Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know. I've seen him in some other things, but I think they're the same person almost. They're probably not, obviously, but that's what I was thinking. Hey, he just came up, couldn't remember his name. So he's in it. Rachel Zegler's in it. She was in the Hunger Games prequel. And Julian Dennison is from, I think it was Daredevil. No, you know what I mean. Anyway, doesn't matter. You know who these people are. You can look them up. That's not important now. Deadpool 2. That's what it was. So, he seemed bigger in this one. I don't know if he was always that big, but he seemed bigger in this one. Oh, and Eduardo Franco, Alicia Silverstone. Eduardo Franco is from Stranger Things. Alicia Silverstone is from a lot of other things, and Fred Durst, as I had mentioned. The credits are coming up, so I just hit you there real quick. Here's the other people in it. This was a roller coaster of, I'll say, not emotions, but opinions, I guess, in a sense. So, coming into it, 5.2 on IMDb, very low expectations at this point. It's not going to be great. Then, opening scene. Now, again, this is Y2K, so it's 1999 hitting 2000, you know, and so it starts off with a great opening scene for me, because kid's on his computer, he's burning a CD in the background, he's connecting to AOL, the sounds are there, everything's happening, and he watches a video of Bill Clinton and the way it used to work when you used to connect to dial into your modem and watch a video, and then he gets in AOL. Oh, he gets a You've Got Mail. Okay, so, but again, it's neat to see the nostalgia. Of course, there's a movie all called You Got Mail, but you hear that, and then he gets into AOL Instant Messenger, and he's talking. You're hearing the dings or the whatever the sound that AOL Messenger always gave you when you got a new message. So it really sucked you right in. I was like, awesome. Okay, then it rolls into like a version of American Pie, right? Some teenage angst, some two kids, not the most popular, wanting to be popular, wanting to take that next step and, you know, get out there and meet girls kind of thing and do, you know, that kind of stuff, right? But they're best friends. They're going to probably stay in 1999 and, you know, to watch a movie and stuff like that. But then, you know, maybe that decision will happen and they'll go out to a party, and that's what happens. They're going to go out to this party. Again, party shows you, you know, things, just a, you know, teenage party in 1999, before 2000, and then it turns 2000, right? And that's what they say. That's when, you know, everything, and I'm like, okay, you know, so far, okay, I'm liking it. It's good. And then the year 2000, and you know, when that happened, everybody's, hey, there's going to be all this, what's ever going to happen, things are going to go bad because we didn't prepare anything for the change of the dates. And so everybody thought this was going to be crazy. Obviously nothing happened in real life, but in the movie, to make it better, something does happen. So a little bit of a spoiler alert, just slightly, like these electronics start having issues and people, you know, start getting killed. And it becomes this whole thing. And I'll get in a little bit more detail about that kind of stuff in a little bit. But that, you know, then it becomes like man versus machine, if you will. And it gets really over the top, way over the top. Like, so once it transitions into that phase of it, I was like, oh, it's a different kind of movie. So, and I think this is helpful. If you've ever seen Idle Hands, it has that kind of feel to it. I couldn't think of it for the longest time, then I was like, I got it now. So in Idle Hands, our main character's hand gets possessed and just, you know, starts killing people. And it's like absurd, but in that movie, sometimes funny. Like his best friend eating the burrito in that movie cracked me up, right? It's got the leading lady, and that one it was Jessica Alba. In this one, it's Rachel Zegler. It's got that feel. You know, it wasn't a hand, it's now machines and stuff like that. You know, so there's that piece of it. And then, you know, it's like, oh, okay, it's a silly movie. It's not supposed to be emotional. It's not supposed to be fun. And then it jumps back, right? And it becomes more serious at times. You know, there's this budding relationship and the romance going on in the background. Okay, great. There's best friends. And then there's bad things that happen that, you know, like, you could be emotionally tied to. And it's like, oh, it's like a serious kind of drama situation that you didn't necessarily get like in Idle Hands. So you're now back into, you know, characters and liking them and not just like laughing and being this is absurd kind of thing. It's like, oh, wait a minute. You know, and then it goes right back to ridiculousness again. So it just keeps, you know, I think, and it's original, I guess, in a sense. I don't think the movie couldn't define its own self. You know, it had, I don't know, issues, self-identification issues, I guess. I don't know. That's what I felt like. Didn't know what they wanted to. Do we want to be like a serious movie, or do we want to be, you know, like a serious dark kind of comedy, or we want to be a silly slapstick funny movie that is so ridiculous that people have to laugh at? That's the whole thing to me. Now, layer on top of all that a decent soundtrack. You know, I mean, if you were around in those times, I think it brought back, you know, and like I mentioned the nostalgia pieces with AOL, you know, when they get in the car and he want to listen to my new mix CD, which you write on top of, which I did. I burned a CD and I wrote on top of it, peanut butter and jelly mix, and then they have the mounted Walkman type thing, put it in there, doom, and they're playing it. You know, that was awesome. You know, a lot of it was really cool, and then it just went like, you know. And I'll give the one last piece because I think it's silly. I don't think it's really going to spoil it, but I'll get to there. Then you know, then they bring in the iPod. For those of you, I have one laying around here somewhere, but it was an iPod, which is just a brick like this. You circle around, you get all the music. It wasn't a phone, wasn't anything else. It just stored all of your Apple Music on that. I mean, now you store it all on your phone, but we had things that just stored music on it, and you could connect them to your car and you can listen to music. So just really, you know, doing a great job of going back in time and capturing all that. The cars, the outfits. You know, I didn't pay much attention to the outfits, to be honest with you, but everything else I thought was cool. But in the end, the plot line, the, you know, lack of understanding what kind of movie they wanted to be, just didn't, I got bored with it. I didn't like it that much. And I'll say this one last thing, and this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler alert. Again, I'm not going to ruin the ending of the movie, but I just want to say, like when I say man versus machines, what I mean. So if you haven't seen it yet, you don't want to know what I mean, jump off. Thank you for tuning in. If not, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert real quick. The machines, they take these, like, they're silly the way that they do it. Like, at first, it's like, oh, you know, the dishwasher trips the guy. Like, the door opens and trips it. Alright, and his head goes into the microwave. It's more like Final Destination. You know, a little nod to that. I thought, that's cool, okay. You know, and how's this, what's all going to happen? But then, like, all these just different electronics come together and build huge robots with, like, IMAX's heads. You know, the old computer IMAX, and, like, you know, those toy Jeeps that kids drive around, like, as part of their body, you know, and then drill bits as part of their hands. And they're just these robots that are coming after people, like Max Headroom. And that was just really silly to me. And they're able to take everybody out. Now, but one guy, I mentioned his name earlier, but anyway, he goes out and just lifts ones up and brings it in. Like all the rest of them are annihilating Earth. This guy, oh, this guy's outside. He picks them up, brings them in. They tie them up, and then, you know. So I don't know. That's where the silliness was really bad. I think if they wanted to be silly the whole movie. You know, or change your villain or your monsters, or, you know what I mean, the machine. I like the concept of, like, hey, no, Y2K went crazy and now it's killing a bunch of people. Let's do it that way. Add humor to it, but don't take it over the top and be silly, in my opinion. And that's why I'm here, to give you my opinion, and that's why you're watching. So there you go, a little bit longer, but I'm pretty low on this film. Unfortunately, but 4 or 5, definitely a 5, not a 6. I don't think I'd go as far as a 4, because it did have some good elements. All right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.